servants can smell your blood, human.
Hello and welcome back to more Hexen. Specifically the mage part. Ooh, apparently I've messed up all the timing. I mean, I've played quite a few other games today, so... Oh, fuck you, Afrit. You... Apparently my aim is pretty bad, too. But it is alright. As you can see, we have plenty of room to move around here in the Shadow Wood. So even though there's tons of enemies, we should be fine. Okay, not in this part, but we only have to go through this part once. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Funky collision time. I will be saving here a lot. Just because if something does go wrong, I don't want to be sent back so far. That's literally it. Now, how you want to handle these is you don't actually want to sprint. You can hold down the run button, but don't. Because you'll probably overshoot. Now I'm gonna select my chaos device, and I'm gonna do that for a very good reason. Well, I didn't have to do it this time. Usually what happens to me is they just swarm like nobody's business right around that door, and I can't get through, and I get pinned. And, you know, that much shit, as pretty much any class, you don't want that. Not without your ultimate multi-part weapon, which you can see being built in the lower right down there, because we have a piece now that we finished 7 portals. We picked it up on the way out, if you didn't see that. Of course, we still want to... Jesus! As I said, we still want to use our floss shards. Excuse me. We still want to use the frost shards because we don't have a lot of green mana yet. I mean, we're getting there, obviously, but we don't want to use it all right away. And frost shards still has its uses. For example, this really doesn't work well in cramped spaces. The Arc of Death, which is our lightning hands, it works pretty bad in closed spaces, so you want to save it for the more open rooms. Meanwhile, frost shards, you want to be right up close, so it's literally perfect to use in cramped spaces. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now, you can use your wand, or you can do what I am going to do and use the ice. As you can see, these things, swamp stalkers, are a big deal. They can only stay in... They can't move sectors. You know what I mean? They can't Like, for example, they can't go, like, up or down. Fucking Christ. That was really mean. I think this time I'll stick to the wand, because it does a pretty good job too. I don't feel like jumping back, so we're just gonna use it because its only purpose is to go back to the start of a level, which, well, quite frankly, I don't need to do very much. I thought I saved after killing all these guys, but apparently not. Will admit it is rather easy to get backed up, especially since I don't usually go mage. I usually go, well, quite frankly, a more capable class. I mean, mage is fine. It's just clearly not the best, which that was apparent already. There's one class which is super melee focused, and one class, the mage, which is super, you know, ranged focused, which is, you know, what we're doing right now. Don't worry, I didn't forget. So, like, there's water in this river. What I was saying about the stalkers earlier. They can't get up here. It is impossible for them to do so. Gotcha. Kill them. Well, serpents are dead. And this is the strat. I mean, frost charge is definitely quicker, and you will still probably get hurt occasionally this way. But it just fires fast enough to where you can just... I think that's all of them. One weird thing is they block you underwater, even to the point when they're underwater, even to the point where it doesn't make sense. Like, you can be in the air and they will stop you. Which is dumb and stupid, and I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. And by pressing that, we activate traps, I think. I think that's what activates the traps, or maybe it's sporting this first thing. No, it's definitely that activates the traps, but they haven't activated yet because the platforms aren't done. See, there they go. Now the traps have begun. And Afrit, which I will deal with my super cool wand. Like that's the thing. The other classes, especially, you won't use your first weapon as much. I mean, you'll use it to conserve mana, but that's basically it. The mage, the first weapon, well, it's especially for the cleric, you will only use his first weapon to save mana, and that's literally it. The fighter, you can get some decent mileage out of his gauntlets, but you know, the mage, you respect the sapphire wand, and it will do good things for you. You can kill the final boss with only the sapphire wands with relative ease. Not so with the other starting weapons. In short, the sapphire wand, very good. Do not underestimate it. Come on. Yep. I know about this trap, so I can disarm it before it has any chance to hurt me. You can't hurt the birds when they're idle or hatching off. It's just like impossible. They don't take any damage. That gets turned off afterwards, and yeah, as you can see. And the pots will break when they fall, and that's the trap. Of course, I skillfully disarmed it. You can even do that with the fighter by just like jumping up next to it and punching it. It's rather amusing. I think you can do that with the cleric too. Not punching it, obviously, but still disarming it all the same. And I will now shoot at and kill those Afrit over there. And you. My little Etten friends. Well, not friends. Definitely not friends. And I'm gonna kill all of these because them blocking you is super annoying. And I don't know, they just do it in this room, and they can bunch up on you real easy. I'd be careful. Also, check out that wavy floor effect. It's kind of neat, isn't it? Of course, we use interact on that statue to light it, and you know, here's something I learned. Hexen actually doesn't make interactable objects. That's not how this was done. There's like a line def that we can interact with that triggers a script to make that, you know, light up. So you may have heard that unfamiliar firing sound. We will get to that in a moment. Hello. Die, bird. Which one? Ah! I was expecting it to hit the backs of the other ones. Yes, as you can see, that centaur just shot things from its shield. Now, don't worry. Not all of them can do this. What you're seeing is actually a completely indistinguishable from the normal variety version of the enemy. Well, indistinguishable except for the fact that it shoots stuff at you and takes more damage. Or, excuse me, it has more health. That's a better way of putting that. That is called the Slaughter. It's kind of a pun of slaughter and centaur. And yeah, they shoot those projectiles and they do tons of damage. The expansion for this game, Death Kings of the Dark Citadel. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how I can put it. It just uses them a lot. Yeah, Death Kings of the Dark Citadel isn't the greatest expansion in the world. I can think of plenty of better ones. But if you ever plan on playing Hexen online with, like, I don't know, Source Sports and the like, then you will want to get Death Kings of the Dark Citadel because it actually has a pretty solid lineup of deathmatch levels. Those levels being, you know, there's like a hub map for all of it, which is in map slot 33. So if you want to know, I don't know what the command line parameter for Hexen is exactly, but you know, inside the actual WAD file, it's map 33. I'd have to look into which thing it is. By which thing it is, of course, I mean what the warp command to get you there is. Because the warp command doesn't actually use the map numbers, it's different. Aha-wee. Now, you might fall into a loop very similar to the one that I fall into all the time, where I just use nothing but quartz flasks. And you know, that's fine, but when you get to low enough health, use mystic urns you have instead. It's more efficient and will prevent you from eating up all your quartz flasks and then only having mystic urns. Which is a very sorry state to be in, indeed. Because you're always going to feel like you're wasting them if you have to heal that way, and you know, you're getting less bang for your buck, really, unless you just get hurt a lot. Door open in the distance. Oh. You see, lines of text like that, when you do puzzles and stuff, like, you hear a door open in the distance, that very... What it does for me is it sets off, like, a very D&D kind of atmosphere for me. It's like a dungeon master telling you that. Now, keep in mind, I've never played a single second of D&D in my life. But I know enough to know that it's like that. And I like it. I like it. I very much like that style of atmosphere and play. And we have our castle key. You may notice all our other keys are gone. That's okay. We don't need them anymore. And you know, actually a really clever touch in Hexen is that no key is ever reused in the entirety of the game. So the explanation for them not being displayed in your HUD is just your character put them away because they don't need them anymore. Right. Here. Hello, birds. Die, please. I'm gonna deselect these. This is a Dark Servant. We'll get to that. We'll get to the Dark Servants, and when we do, you'll see. Saying anything else would be spoiler. Come on, pick that up. Now, you might notice, I really like using this wand now. Well, considering it made several encounters much easier, I'm very inclined to like it over the frost shards. Those are discs of repulsion. They can not only deflect enemies, but projectiles. I mean, they're somewhat helpful. I don't have the reaction time to really make them useful, but if you do, go ahead. And believe me, this game loves giving you discs of repulsion after the 7 portals, so you will just be full. You'll be full of them. And it will be no big deal. By end game, you'll be able to push shit away from you all the time. Now, admittedly, I had never, ever, ever found a use for, well, of course, the discs of repulsion. I never found a use for them with the other classes, but with the mage, hell, they're probably essential as the mage. And yes, it is random which one of these actually works. And apparently very particular. Yeah, it's randomly generated every time you go through. It's also apparently very particular where you have to run to get it to work. Oh well, that's why I save over there, because you can just get away with not taking any damage. The first time you run through one of them, though, even if it's the right one, it will still... it will still, you know, like, teleport you back, but that's only the first time. It could actually randomly generate every time. That is feasible, but I really don't know. And by every time, I mean every time you fail one. I don't know. Alright, so we have our swamp key. Now, ain't swamp keys lovely? Yeah, we're definitely not going to beat this hub in this episode. But as you can see, we've done several things. And my next objective is here. Because we need to open something. Now this place is crowded with goons. And even with all the preparation I've done, I don't think that's really going to make it any easier. So, of course, I can try to lure them outside. Or better yet, place flechettes and lure them into those, but I've always been terrible with timing those. Oh, I thought you were dead because I couldn't see you. We need to go up there. Obviously, we can't reach that. Alright, just go down. Don't give me trouble. Come on. Got him. And then we have this room, which is full of shit. So I'm gonna unleash everything I have. Perfect. We can even get attacked by a bird. What? I didn't see it coming. Actually, what am I doing? Just use this, then go over here. Then electrocute that Etten because I know you're coming. I heard the teleport sound. Yeah, periodically Etten will teleport in. That's the only monster that does in Vanilla Hexen. I think in... Actually, no I thinks about it. I know in Hexen Death Kings of the Dark Citadel, it's whatever monsters the developers damn well pleased. But, you know, with it only being Etten in standard Hexen, it's not bad. It's not like respawning monsters in Doom at all. It happens like... It takes a while for it to happen. And, you know, it's just like, it's no big deal. Because it's just Etten, and, you know, base enemy. Easy to take down. unlike a slaughter standing in an inconvenient place. Don't tell me I have to go around again. Oh, really? This is open? Okay. Yeah, fuck you. Pig time. If you're curious as to what that does, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory based on what you just saw. Come on. Take him down. Come on. You might see that mystic urn in the middle. I'm gonna save, because I've never done this before. Well, go that way, come and get it, and it's free. It's free stuff. But yeah, that's why. If you come this way, it's not such a good bargain, is it? Yeah, that's right. It's a shitty, terrible bargain if you think about it that way, but apparently all you have to do is just cause this thing to lower, and then use that, or rather, excuse me, there's a wall here that blocks this off, cause that wall to lower, then just use the elevator and you can grab all that shit for free. I didn't know that, and I'll have to keep it in mind. Next stop on our getting shit done journey is here. The Wastelands. Maybe we will do this hub in one sitting. I don't know. I just know some of them are a little too long for that sort of thing. Oh, come on. Ah, come on. None of that hitting me bullshit. Yeah, you should also totally be prepared for there to be crystal vials. This area is useless for now. Ignore it. But yeah, you should totally be prepared for crystal vials. That's another thing. I use tons of quartz flasks, and then there are crystal vials, but I'm at full health. And crystal vials, you know, you just use it on the spot. You can't use those as items. You can't carry them. So I end up just wasting a lot of quartz flasks when I could have used the crystal vials. Also, yeah, be wary of those things. They go in and out of the ground at periodic intervals. I don't know the exact amount of time, but they are dangerous and will insta-kill anything on top of them. Yes, that includes the enemies. If you're using an item we haven't yet encountered, maybe you'll be safe. Maybe. Come on. Get this bastard. Of course, more shit here. Come on. Oh, there's one behind us. As you can see, there are flechettes everywhere. They aren't, you know, in my opinion, they are not good for the mage. I know some people know how to use that time bomb effect. Speaking of which, there's an item in Heretic I'm going to mention now called the Time Bomb of the Ancients. It's the same thing as this flechette. I can't use either of them. And personally, I think they're both completely worthless and should totally be something else instead. Like, Damn, that was close. Like, one of Doom's health bonuses, or armor bonuses, or, I don't know, just anything better than a time-delayed explosive, which lasts an awkward amount of time, does little damage, and has an awkwardly large, yet awkwardly small hitbox. And yes, I am serious. It's all of those criteria. If you fall here, don't worry. There is a way out. Specifically, the devs... Oh. Well, I get to show it now. Specifically, the devs put that switch there so you don't die if you fall there. Because if the devs really wanted you to die, they would have just made it a really big pit that kills you from fall damage. They wouldn't leave it to the lava. Alright, I think we have come far enough. Hello. Now, we're gonna go back to the entrance from where we came. Because our work here, for the moment, just like in, Darkmere, which I didn't say. I didn't say it there, but, you know, our work here is done. For the time being. We'll come back. There will be more to do, but for the moment, we are done. And that goes for this episode, too. We'll see you next time for more Hexen.